Hi, and welcome to my graphic novel review YouTube channel. My name is Andrew Ace, but you spell it U-Y-S, and you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and the like at UYS999. Today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite characters, and actually one of my favorite authors as well, and that is Winter Soldier, who was created by Ed Brubaker. Now, Winter Soldier came about back in 2004, 2005 in the Captain America comic book series when Ed Brubaker took over the writing duties. Prior to that, Uncle Ben and, say, Bucky Barnes were the two big, you cannot change, you cannot retcon deaths that were major motivations for characters like, well, Spider-Man and Captain America. Bucky Barnes was Captain America's sidekick back in World War II, and the famous story that was brought about when Captain America was brought over from Timely into Marvel was that Bucky died at the end of the war, or near the end of the war, and that explosion was the very explosion that threw Captain America into the, well, freezing ocean, where he gets encased in ice and he survives to the present day, where, you know, he's a man out of time and he's mourning the loss of his partner. And this really was the basis for a lot of Captain America's adventures or motivations back in the 60s and 70s. At some point, it maybe became a little bit of a tired trope to have Captain America keep teaming up with these teenage sidekicks in some sort of reminiscent, nostalgia, you know, thing. I'm looking for a word. I'm not sure. It's a little weird sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And what Ed Brubaker did instead was like, hey, let's bring this character back to life. We can do so much more with him. Fans went crazy. I mean, as in upset, like, Ed Brubaker, we hate you, you've ruined Captain America. And yet, fast forward 10 years or so, and Winter Soldier is one of fans' favorite characters. He's a big, you know, upcoming question mark in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, already being introduced, a slightly different origin or reboot story, or coming back from the dead story. But he is definitely here to stay. No one's doubting that. So, if you're looking to find his origin and where he starts out, this volume, Captain America Winter Soldier, is being collected in one graphic novel more recently. This was back 2005, 2006. And this is the start of Brubaker's run on Captain America. This has Bucky Barnes being brought back. I won't tell you how. I guess that's a little bit different from the movies. And this has then sort of what, you know, how that whole thing ends. And again, a little bit different from the movies. So if you're a fan of the movies, don't be disappointed that it's different. I actually think the comic books are a better read. Certainly where, you know, you've got the cinematic universe and you've had a few Captain America films. This, you know, really obviously super focuses in on the character and allows Ed Brubaker to develop Bucky Barnes / the Winter Soldier more than we've seen so far on the big screen. Now, after this, the next book that you'd want to pick up is a later volume in Ed Brubaker's run, and this is where, Marvel fans of the movies, Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, becomes Captain America. Now, there's a lot of speculation in the Avengers Infinity War, or Infinity Gauntlet, sorry, but the, you know, Part 3, Part 4 of the Avengers movies, and if Steve Rogers dies, if Chris Evans doesn't want to come back to continue playing Captain America, could Sebastian Stan, could Bucky Barnes / the Winter Soldier take on the Captain America role, much like he did in the comic books? And they set it up perfectly with many levels, but one detail I especially like, which was nobody can throw the shield as well as Bucky Barnes with his bionic arm. I think that's a really neat little detail that they had him sort of become the natural successor at the time to Steve Rogers and you know, when he died. And like I said, this is back 2004, 2005, 2006. So these stories are now 10 years old, but I promise you won't go wrong. Now, almost at the end of that run, Ed Brubaker, just covering up the used bookstore price tag there, Ed Brubaker spun Winter Soldier out into his own series They'd really developed the whole Russian background aspect. They'd also really developed his relationship with Black Widow and Natasha, which is something they haven't done so much in the movies. But the idea is that they both have common links to the Red Room, to their sort of their training and their time as these sort of super covert undercover operatives. So, definitely worth checking out. This wrapped up pretty much both Brubaker's run on the series and at Marvel, and I don't want to go into that, but he did a phenomenal run on Captain America, well worth every graphic novel. Heck, you can see most of them behind me right there, and by most, if only because they're not all fully shelved properly. I own them all. So, last book I want to tell you about, still Winter Soldier, and oh my god, Marco Rudy, a Toronto artist, though not from Toronto, but I mean, who's from Toronto? I'm not from Toronto. We're all immigrants here. And he came, I want to say 2011, 2012, maybe a little bit earlier. I was still working at my old comic book store and I got to meet him. And little did I know, within a few years, and I had left the store and wasn't, maybe paying quite as much attention as I should be. And this comes out, this run of Bucky Barnes, The Winter Soldier. It takes place after Ed Brubaker's run, and it actually takes place after an event called Original Sin, which I'm just rereading the graphic novel form right now, so it's been a little while since I read the single issues, but the idea is that Nick Fury's been guarding Earth from cosmic threats as some sort of unknown man on the wall. I have to reread it, remember a bit better, but certainly what happens is that Bucky Barnes inherits the position, and then these are his adventures in space and time. A little bit like Doctor Who, but Marco Rudy brings some of the most insane, beautiful art. I've had a chance to watch him painting. It's incredible. And the story is really good too. I don't want to knock the rest of the creative team, but really, you could buy this graphic novel and just stare at the art, and you wouldn't even care about the characters of the story. It's that beautiful. That said, if you're a Winter Soldier fan, if you're a Crossbones fan, heck, if you're a fan of Daisy, codenamed Quake, from Secret Warriors / Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., she's in this as well. It's a phenomenal read, and to be honest, I don't think you even really need to read Original Sin, or if you don't want to, have picked up anything prior, you can just grab this graphic novel and enjoy it as it is. So guys, that's a few of my favorite Winter Soldier graphic novels. Obviously, who knows what's going to happen within the movies, and, what is the next best read to check out for him? Well, check back here, I'll have some more recommendations. So find me online at UYS999. I'll see you again soon. Bye.